I wanted to use Mega Absol Z. With some of the highest attack and speed stats in the game, I felt like this Pokemon could be an absolute powerhouse in ranked. I was right. This Pokemon has ridiculous damage and is so fast that I almost always get the first hit. And after a Swords Dance boost, that first hit is often taking the knockout. Play Rough and Phantom Force are such efficient chase moves that if they don't take the knockout, I can usually follow it up with a fast enough knockoff to finish it off. 3 attacking moves allows it to almost always have a usable attack that is solid into any Pokemon. And Phantom Force comes out fast enough to act like Protect in many cases. Same with, of course, Mega Evolving. Using these maneuvers to dodge hits is essential for Absol Z because it is very squishy. Even though it has really low bulk, it has one of the best typings for weaknesses, only having 2 times effective typing, which is Fairy. This really is an offense is the best defense strat, and I'm all for it. However, we do have great surrounding Pokemon to support this emo centerpiece. All reliable. These 2 Pokemon feel like they offer little synergies. And while that is true to some extent, they accentuate Absol Z in a great way. Metagross offers a much more helping hand than Garchomp since it sets up screens and covers for Absol's biggest weakness, Fairy. The screens actually assist the Mega Absol a lot, and being able to switch in on a Fairy move and hit with a Heavy Slam is great. And of course, Metagross is one of the best leads in the entire format. With Screen's weakness policy, this bad boy is doing the absolute most. One thing kind of annoying for Metagross is Pokemon in the air. Only offering a Heavy Slam and some defense makes it kind of hard for this guy to do anything. Fortunately, we have the Stone Edge on the Garchomp in an attempt to patch that up. Garchomp is mostly here to have a reliable guy that doesn't need to Mega Evolve that can put pressure on just about anything. The only thing he's really scared of is Ice and Fairy Pokemon, which Metagross says, "Put me in, boss." So when I say old reliable, I mean this duo. It feels reminiscent of the Incineroar Rillaboom duo, where this duo offers screens instead of Intimidate and Sash instead of grassy terrain. Completely different. But this game is completely different. The Legend ZA format is a lot more aggressive, and every Pokemon needs to be proactive. Anyway, let's go ahead and dissect these individual sets. At this point in time, I can't say for sure how good Knockoff really is because I don't know the inner workings of it. Like for example, how it interacts with Focus Sash and Mega Stones. It seemed to me that Focus Sash still procs to protect a Pokemon from an OHKO. Also, the base damage of Knockoff isn't ridiculously high, so it won't always KO through a Focus Sash, even if it favored the Knockoff ability. And Mega Evolving to protect from the initial hit, of course, works. Play Rough and Phantom Force have been overperforming as a way to chase down Pokemon, especially since Mega Absol Z has the second highest base speed in the entire game. And Swords Dance is incredibly strong. It feels like Absol is made to take knockout streaks. Oftentimes when I get it in front of a few Pokemon, I can take a couple knockouts before the behemoth goes down. And sometimes I can get a couple knockouts and switch, then the new respawning trainers have to deal with a fresh Sash Garchomp. And I take a jump from 2 or 3 knockouts to 5 or 6 knockouts in a few moments. And then I can hold that lead with the defensive Superman Metagross. As far as the EV spread here, I went very basic route of max attack and max HP, with the leftover 4 going into the physical defense. Adamant Nature to give the highest attack possible. To be honest, the speed felt high enough to where adding more felt unnecessary. There might be some benchmarks, but I don't know them. So I wanted to add some bulk to let it maybe survive something without screens, and maybe 2 hits behind the screens. Metagross is the lead, and one of the best ones in the game at that. I fell in love with Screen's weakness policy ever since the first time I tried it in Ranked Season 2 with Xerneas. Not that Screen's weakness policy is a brand new thing, but that's when I liked it in Legend ZA. And Metagross does the Screen's weakness policy so well. A lot of Pokemon out the gates target down Metagross with a super effective attack, and then that just procs the weakness policy with the screens. And then you can take some knockouts or chip away and switch into something else with screens up to take the final blows. It feels like I'm still tripping up people with the weakness policy, which I think is crazy because this feels like the best way to use Metagross. But I don't blame you if you use this as a coverage Mega Metagross, because that's very strong too. But the Mega on this team is set and not changing. As far as the EV spread here goes, we went with a basic max attack and HP Adamant Nature, which you'll find on every member of this team. The leftover 4 here was into special defense because of scary heat waves. Garchomp is the all-rounder. Like I said before, it feels like a great guy to pressure just about any Pokemon. Metagross covers its major weaknesses, and it never has to Mega, so it can just soak up the Mega energy and prepare for the Absol sweep. This is also a great Pokemon for AoE spamming, taking out clusters of Pokemon with ease. But here's the spread. Max HP, max attack, 4 leftover into special defense with adamant nature, Dragon Rush Earthquake for AoE spamming, and Stone Edge to take down flying guys. I'm not going to explain Garchomp anymore because I think at this point you've seen it enough. I want to go ahead and show off a little bit of highlights from this team because it is just such high octane gameplay. We have the Mega Absol able to do chase down knockouts so easily, and kill streaking is just nothing to this guy. You do Play Rough or Phantom Force to chase down and then knock off to finalize the knockout every single time. And like I said, even our supportive Pokemon are incredibly proactive in this game. We have Metagross able to take huge knockouts. What am I talking about how good Metagross is, right? It's been clearly one of the best Pokemon in almost every format in this game so far. It's even a massively relevant Pokemon in restricted formats. Then we have Garchomp. Of course, Garchomp. What am I going to explain Garchomp further? It does everything that it does so well. And then when you got to get out of there, you can just switch out into one of the other things. Like I said, he's pretty much a waiting room to sweep with Absol. So once we have the Mega alive, we bring in the Absol and just take chase down knockout after chase down knockout. It is such high octane gameplay. That's what I'm saying. You click on a guy, you lock in, you click an attack, you lock into another thing, you click an attack. You lock in on another, like you just do that over and over and over, and it is so good. Phantom Force is a ridiculous attack. It takes a little while, but when it pays off dividends. I wanted to show off a game from the very start. So here you can see we're at 3 minutes. This is the start. I wanted to bring in a Metagross screen setup, not even care about the weakness policy proc, because we're already at half damage. We're gonna die to this Charizard. So we just switch into the Garchomp and start using our big move. We have Stone Edge to take out this Garchomp. We have a chase down Dragon Rush for this half-dead other Pokemon. And we're able to just clean up what Metagross set up for. And once again, Garchomp is such a great role for this slot because we're able to use all these moves, just charge up this Mega Dust and switch into Absol. Click Swords Dance. Mega Evolve for the protection. And then Swords Dance sweep. Click Phantom Force, lock in on random Pokemon, and take snipes. This is as effective as like a Thunderbolt snipe, but you're on a Phantom Force 150 something base attack. It's so powerful. It took 4 knockouts in the first 1 minute of that game. I had a bunch of Pokemon I thought about trying for this team to further support the Absol Z and kind of make this team more unique. But it felt like this trio had everything covered. Honestly, this was the team I threw together just to dip my toe into ranked. I was expecting to get destroyed by random things and get some inspiration for this team and for any team in the format. It just so happened that this trio is absurdly powerful. And who could have guessed it, right? Putting Screens Metagross and a Focus Sash Garchomp on a team, you can make this last Pokemon any Pokemon in the game and it would probably work. It just so happens that Metagross feels like one of the best partners for this Absol. Garchomp could probably be something else. That's the most tentative spot on the team, but it works so well with Metagross that I just went for it anyway. My other main idea for Absol Z was Tinkaton, giving you that steel coverage to decimate any fairy Pokemon in your way, and also fairy to destroy dragons. It felt like a great pair. I might still go through with that and add some other third mystery Pokemon, but for now, I'm having a blast with this team. I do have a couple other teams in the works. Of course, Dundozo Tatsugiri is another thing I'm messing with, something with Golden Go, maybe a Mega Glamora. So if any of those are screaming out to you, let me know in the comments. Also, if you've been working with Absol Z, let me know what your team is in the comments. I've been very impressed with this Pokemon so far, and I would love to mix up the team, but for now, I'm just happy to be using Absol Z. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.